Welcome back from that short break. We are definitely getting into the last minutes of this particular show. But remember, you can always be part of it by following our thread of conversations on social media. Head over to Facebook, it is Urban Television, and Twitter, it is at Urban TV Uganda. We have been discussing a couple of trending topics within the country as this week did come to be winded up. Now, as we do get to wrap up with the show, we're going to be talking about Father's Day. Yes. Willis, you are a father, I believe so, right?
Yes.
Welcome to the table of men. That's a good thing about it.
I've been around for years.
You've been around for years, not months.
Yes.
How does it feel being a father, first and foremost?
Being a father is, first of all, it's a blessing. You know, that God puts lives for you to nurture, for you to inspire, for you to, you know, sort of help grow. I think it's a blessing. Although some fathers don't take it as a blessing. But for me, I take it as a blessing. That's, you know, so God has just trusted me to advise these kids every day of their lives, tell them, go, Kati, doing this is bad, doing this is good. Understand? To sacrifice part of what I have to give them so that they can also grow and make something of themselves. So for me, being a father is a blessing.
It's a blessing.
Yeah.
Now, as we get to celebrate this particular one, it's going to be happening tomorrow, on the 21st of June. What are some of the things that, you know, you look up to that make you a good father or make anyone a good father?
Make me a good father? I don't know if
Let's
I'm a
begin
good,
with you
I don't know if I'm a good father.
You don't think you're a good father?
No, I think I'm a good father, but I don't know.
What are some of the things that you have done that have drawn you to a conclusion to say that you are a good father?
No, the people who should be answering that are my wife and kids. Those are the ones you need to ask if I'm a good dad.
No, you need to know.
Me, I don't know if I'm a good father. You understand? Because listen, God...
Do you think you're...
Many parents get it wrong. Omwana si wo. A child is not yours. It's not yours. Omwana wansi. You're just a vessel.
Ezo siza ngambo ze twakuliramu ezo naye nga ge mazima really.
Nedda omwana wansi Katonda just yakuwadde blessing to be able to nurture this life into growth. Omwana wansi mugundi mu Bible mulimu of age. Temulimu 18 or 13 or 12. Mulimu of age. Jesus started performing miracles when he was a kid, when he was underage. If it was this time, they'll tell him, my friend, you're a minor. You understand? But, you know, it's different ages. But omwana wansi, you as a parent, is just so you can help them, just to kubaterawo kabega bakwatireko naye omwana wansi.
What makes a good father?
What makes a good father? Sacrifice. As a good father, you need to be able to sacrifice. Vamu bino ebyogamba mbu oyina omwana wazaala and you call yourself a dad, but you need to be able to sacrifice. Not just sacrifice money, but sacrifice emotional aspects, spiritual aspects, time, habits as a father. All those things will not be sacrificing because this child is looking at you as a father, as the first example in life.
Okay.
You're the hustler they are looking at, you're the discipline they are looking at, you're everything they are looking at. So as a father, you need to sacrifice everything. And fatherhood makes you grow. So you realize, bwenvuma neighbor no mwana yinzo tandika ovuma neighbor najagadde omuvuma nekinyumira naye sijja muvuma. So you sacrifice, which unfortunately some fathers do not know.
Do you have some examples? You want to mention names?
Gasumba. You can't be on the internet and abuse people and say you're a good father. So you're saying Frank Gasumba is not a good father? He's not.
Okay.
He's not. And I'll be honest about it. He's not.
But he has been able to raise a daughter. I mean, that's...
Daughter omulabi. Ali mu bya cyberbullying.
Now, since we're talking about growth, when do you think is because, you know, very many young men have dreams of becoming fathers. You know, everyone is looking forward to that particular moment where they get to carry their own baby and the baby is calling them Papa. When do you think is the right age to actually, you know, be a father?
There's no right age per se, because biologically, when you're 16, you can be a father. Your waters can
form
a human being. But I would say that as a man, you need to think about growth as an individual. And I'm not talking about financial growth. Most people hinge it on financial growth. By the way, money comes and goes, and comes back and goes. So it shouldn't be a yardstick for someone to say, hey, kati nsobola ndoza nsobola ozaala. Oyinza okuba akazaala bwoti nzigenda. So I think personal growth as an individual, your spiritual aspect, are you balanced? Have you decided in your life that this is where your faith is? You know, have you made up your mind? You're either Muslim or Christian or this. Have you decided as an individual? So the spiritual balance as an individual, emotional balance, because fatherhood is not about you know, emotions. Omwana ayinza okukola ekintu nekikunyiiza n'oggyayo emotions zo. That's not fatherhood. Fatherhood olina okubeera ng'oli emotionally balanced, you know, to be able to let your mind decide and make decisions. You understand? Some people get into fatherhood nga tebali emotionally balanced, and that's why you're seeing single mothers and single fathers, because they get into being fathers when they are not emotionally balanced. So when something happens, you quickly run to your emotional book to pick out a line and make a decision, rather than make a logical decision as a father. You understand? So you need to be spiritually balanced, emotionally balanced to be able to be a father. I think that's it. The rest is nature. Akakuwomera.
As a father, when you talk about raising kids, it is something that doesn't come off with an ease, especially now that we are getting into that kind of technological, you know, generation. We are looking at the internet coming out to spice things up and, you know, make this kind of, you know, fatherhood and, you know, a relationship between the son and the father much easier. But what is your take? Do you think the internet is actually spoiling, you know, what would have been a more of a physical relationship between a father and son?
First of all, as a father, what is your...
Is it a blessing in disguise?
As a father, what is your child doing on the internet? You understand?
Using it to communicate, to educate, to inform his friends or something?
The child's life at infant, probably up to 14, 15, they should be discovering their relationship with Earth. Because they've just come into the world. They need to relate with Earth. You need to be taking them to trips to see lions and baboons and what, before they get extinct. You need to be able to let them to play with the soil. You need to be able to let them to climb trees. That is childhood. You need to let them to play gogoro, a gari. That's childhood. They need to relate with the world. The internet can come in and it will come
Our
in.
parents,
of course,
kuzanya tata na mama.
Tata ne mama ati nawe. Wazanya tata ne mama.
Bizanya je twazanyanga. Bwe wajizanya mbuto.
Teka gwe mbuzi z'abano wazirya bukyali.
Nedda. Just twazanyanga buzanyo just.
But you know, you have to let your child relate with Earth, relate with the world before you bring the internet. Of course, what we eat, what is around us ultimately determines the behaviors of the baby when they are born. Until you're going to find nti abaana bazalidwa mu 2020 and above, they are tech-savvy kids. You know, for me, as of now, my last born thinks about the phone as soon as they wake up. Ayagala kwata simu. Like they're attracted to it. It's because of technological advancement. Abana wajavayo already bamanyi computer at one point. So that's there. But we need, as fathers, to be able to push for our children to interact with Earth. Omwana agenda tuka myaka 5 nga they have a skill, they have something they're working on, they're maybe singing or something, such that omwana agenda otandika system y'okusoma. Because school has more disadvantages than advantages. Until the child doesn't have time now to relate with Earth, the child now doesn't have time to relate with you as a father, the child is being raised by someone else. So before they get to that age, as a father, you have to make it a point to have that time with your child and Earth. I think that's where.
Let's go back to our big question, as you can see on the screen. Who is a good father? And I want us to relate it to, you know, the fathers back then and in the days of, you know, our fathers when they were kids, and, you know, to our current situation. Back then, fathers were usually, you know, around home. They would probably leave, go make some hunting, and then come back with some food, and then, you know, probably the woman would cook. But right about now, things have changed. You know, we have fathers who leave their homes for months, for weeks, and they are where they are, you know, working, they are looking for money. Do you think that, you know, being a father during these days is even much difficult than it was back then? Or we're probably mishandling the whole information?
I don't think it's about the times that we live in, because I know of a guy who is a truck driver and he has a kid who is a teenager. But once in a while, this guy goes with his kid to those trips. You understand? And that's what used to happen back in the day. That fathers, omwana for example, omulenzi, ng'akuza akuliridde 10 years, 12 years, when the father was going to hunt, they would go with the child. Why? Because the child needed to learn how to be a man and grow up. So I think it's not about the times. I think it's about mentality. I know fathers who are very, very rough with their kids. Why? Because they want their kids to be disciplined and grow up in a certain direction. Me, I subscribe to a different thought. I believe that we are all individuals in this world. My job is just to guide you. It's not to force you into a certain direction. You know, the Bible talks about teach your child in a direction to go and they will not depart from it. It doesn't say beat your child into a direction. Sikimanyi nze nkotinga bigambo bya Mukama ebitamu ababiteekawo mu Job simanya James. God spoke. He didn't say I'm speaking this and Ambonyi. No.
Okay.
Katonda yakyogera tokiwulirangako.
Saaliyo naye tugendera.
Wakiwulirako?
Nakiwulira.
Ekitegeeza yakyogera. Ekitegeeza we are in agreement. So the Bible doesn't say beat your child into this direction. It says teach your child. Musomese. You understand? As you also give them space to learn. Most fathers don't give their children space. Okitegeera. Ayagala leero amuyigirize kino mu 2 weeks abenga akimasterinze. Some fathers pamper their children, which I disagree with. You shouldn't be pampering your child.
Why? What is pampering in the
pampering
when
is spoiling. Pampering is your child is 5 years and has an iPhone.
What is wrong with that?
It's your child is 5 years with an iPhone. To do what?
It's a toy, probably.
They can hardly speak. Their vocabulary is low. They don't know anything about the world.
So if I gave my son an iPhone at the age of 5, that is spoiling them.
It's spoiling them. It's spoiling them.
Okay, all right, please proceed.
It's spoiling them. I think that as fathers, we need, and of course, if you talk about the times, and of course those days and these days, I think as fathers of these days, we need to think about the future and sacrifice. There's a tendency of having single mothers in Uganda today. That, you know, out of every 10 women, 8 of them are single mothers. But one of the reasons why they are single mothers is because of the fathers. One of the reasons. And we need to agree to, of course there are other reasons. Some are, you know, but one of the reasons why, you know, we have a huge number of single mothers is because of the fathers. That someone comes, they're unprepared, you get pregnant, and they run away. I think those are some of the things that as we celebrate Father's Day, we need to think about. That as a man, if a lady tells you they are pregnant for you, you need to be able to change your life, to change and look in a different direction. Because now, you need to think about 2 people or 3 people that you need to be able to sacrifice your life for. You know, and it's wonderful. You understand? Most people have obusonga songo wait siru. Things that can be worked on. You understand? So, as a parent, as a father, I would say patience, perseverance and sacrifice.
When we were growing up, we were, you know, brought up in a line of this famous saying, spare the rod and spoil the child. Whenever you would do any small mistake, there would be chiboks. Whenever you do any small mistake, there would be a punishment to it. Right now, things have kind of deviated from that saying. Would you agree with me, or would you, you know, for some particular reason, agree that somehow we are failing out on the parenting system as fathers?
Well, for the ones who are failing out, some people have, you know, are handling it the wrong way. But I would say that the road has changed. You understand? It's not now. There were times when the road was a trunk. Like there was a time when a road was, you know, just a simple stick. There was a time when the road was a wire. You understand? There's a time when the road was a sapatu. And I think you can relate to that.
That's true.
Umoja. There's a time when the road, you know, became timeouts. You understand that a child, to discipline a child, you need to be able to give them time out to reflect on their mistake and come back and agree to it. You understand? So times have changed, and we also need to change as human beings. That it's not just about beating a child. You can beat a child into, you know, dishonesty. You can beat a child into all those negative aspects. I think that you need to learn your child. Ngo muntu. Learn your child as a father and know what the road is to them. what is the road, what will make them understand your point. It's not about you stretching to beat. Of course, once in a while, you need to be able to check your children. Like you surprise and check. For me, that's how I grew up. Like my dad never beat me up, but
But he would check you.
Yeah, there were some of those times when he would check you abruptly and you're like, hey, Kumbe, you're my father. I had forgotten, you understand? So as a parent, you need to be able to know that, you know, I will not pick up a stick or an umoja to beat my child, but once in a while, I will check them into, you know, realizing that I'm still the boss and you know, you're the child, you understand? So once in a while, yes, check, but I don't think that, you know, we should be beating children every now and then.
I want to talk to the fathers now, this particular morning. Out there, you know, some of them are probably having hard times, you know, as far as, you know, talking to their sons or to their daughters are concerned. We have some families where, you know, the father is overstrained by, you know, the relationship between him and the children. What is the best way to bring a father closer to their children?
For me, what I do, every day is a concert in my house.
Every day is a concert.
Sagala nnyo kweyogera bintu biri awo naye
Obeera n'omuziki.
kankuyame.
Bw'ogamba
Every
concert.
day is a concert in my house and I'm the star. When I get home,
Those are
I'm
some
the
of
star.
the advantages of being a father, actually.
Yes.
You are the star in the
I'm
home.
the star. You understand? Today it's music, tomorrow it's comedy, the other day is just, you know, an inspirational talk.
The other day is just checking you.
It's just checking you. You
Yes.
understand? I'm the star in my home. So as a father, I would say this, that every opportunity you get to sit with your children, one-on-one or as you know, as a family, they need to be able to pick something from you. Something that is good, that is going to, you know, develop them as, you know, as people that are growing up in their own life. So be the star in your home. Of course, for the single fathers, I don't know if you can be able to ever make up and, you know, have a family. But even then, the chance, you know, the very few chances you get with your children when you see them, be the star in their life. Let them look at you as a source of laughter, as a source of joy, as a source of calmness, spiritual. Have these arguments with them, understand where they are coming from, and, you know, don't forget to, of course,
Check them.
I remember
like
one
we
time I
called
told
it.
my son, if you do this again, my friend, we are folding hands. Tugenda kwekuba ebikonde.
Omusajja bw'akukuba.
Atasa akunkuba golwana n'ekitaawo era omukuba olekamu.
Ate kubanga kyagenda kulekamu bwe buzibu obuliwo.
Of course, when I say that be the star in your children's lives, some fathers will misunderstand it to spoil your child. Some people want, you know, I want my son to have a PS5, have a football outside, and, you know, in the evenings they're going out with their friends, display pen, and then tomorrow they're going to watch a movie and whatnot. My friend,
What is wrong with that? What is wrong with
You
that
see,
kind of, you know, parenting?
the brain is good, but it works in a very dangerous way. And that's why there's a saying that history repeats itself. Some of these things that we do them as parents because we are seeking sympathy. We want our children to love us more. First of all, as a father, I don't care if my child loves me or doesn't love me.
Really?
Yes.
Isn't
I
that
don't
the
care.
wrong thinking as a father?
No, it's not a wrong thinking.
Why would you say
You
that?
should-
Why would you say you don't care if your son or daughter loves you or not?
Because sometimes the truth hurts, and sometimes that child is going to hate you for the truth. I remember there is something that I spent a lot of time resenting my father for. It's until I grew up, had my own children, that I said, ono guy ali mutuufu. So some things that you're going to do as a father, your child is going to learn about them and agree with them decades later. So you need to be able to withstand that, to make that decision. That nchimanyi togenda kunjagala lwakino. Naye because of what you've done, you're going to stay home the whole year. Omwana n'akukyawa, naye bw'akula agamba, if I didn't stay home for that year, I would not have become who I am. You know those conversations?
Yes, yes.
We usually have them at weddings when we're making speeches. If my father didn't beat me, I wouldn't be who I am. Naye nga we yali akuba wamukyawa. So, as a father, focus on the truth. Don't think about being loved by your children, but think about raising them in the right direction. Sometimes the right direction is not the fancy direction. Sometimes the right direction is just the plain truth, and it's hard to take in with some of these kids. So you need to be able to not seek love and sympathy. Hey, my child loves me, and you know, you're about taking pictures and making them happy. No, I don't think that's the right way to be a father.
So are you saying that punishment is a subset of good parenting?
Is a what?
Is a subset of good parenting. Is it one of the things that constitute to good parenting?
You need to be able to, I don't think it's punishing. I think it's teaching. But before you teach the child, before you do what you call punishing, you have to be able to have a conversation with the child, no matter age. Whether they are 2 or 20, you need to sit down with this child and say, okay, oyingide fridge newe sibirayo. Do you know the consequences of that? Do you know what it means? It could cause this and this. You could faint and die. You could do this and this and this. But for that, I think you're going to go down for 10. So that the child understands. They are taking 10 canes because of what? This, and they understand the consequences, and they know this. By the way, some of these things are memories that no one can steal. That when a child grows up, they have a wealth of memories. Me, I remember the most important checking, the most interesting checking I'd ever got from my dad. We were home doing math homework. I was in P6 in Rwanda. And you know, I decided to be sharp. Katinga gwe tata wange. Nenkola mu bweti. Ngotulo tunuma ni nebaka. Nendoza musinziza amagezi. Guy yankuba oluyi. Yankuba oluyi. Mama wange navayo mu kisenge nagawa.
What's going on?
What is going on? You understand? So at that time, it seemed like torture. But now, it's a good memory. And that's what most parents don't understand. That you don't want to do the right thing because you feel you're hurting the feelings of the child. But you forget that these children, first of all, by in a short memory. They will not remember the bad things that far. But they'll remember the interesting, the most entertaining things about situations. So as a father, totia kupanishinga mwana, it's just that most parents do not go deep into explaining to the child why. Because the why is the most important bit of punishment, you know, when you're dealing with children.
Okay, that leads me to my to-be last question. Does that kind of, you know, memory, or do those kind of memories mean that is you being a good father? If probably you do not have these memories between you and your son, does it make you a bad father?
If you don't have a memory with your father, then he was a bad father. If you don't remember a memory with your dad, then he was a bad father.
Despite whatever could have caused that, maybe he probably died when you were still young or something.
No, that's different. Of course, that's a memory.
Yes.
That's a memory. But if you don't have, if someone asks you what you remember about your father, and you're like, you never had a father.
Okay.
Yeah, you just had a figure. But if you have a dad from time and again, who is giving you, who is directing you, who's teaching you, who's checking you, those are memories you're building. And once you have that wealth of memories and you can sit down and talk about these things, then you had a good father. Because that was someone who was trying their best, who was going out of their way to sacrifice time to be with you, to have that conversation with you, to teach you in this direction. You understand? So I think, you know, it's not about the good or bad memories. It's about what were they going for. You understand? Of course, there are those dangerous memories you have, you might have about, you might create as a father, those confrontations with your wife in front of your children. Those are now hurting memories. They are not bad memories. They are heartbreaking memories. When you remember that your father slapped your mother, those are heartbreaking memories. Those are not memories I'm talking about. I'm talking about memories, the relationship between you as a child and your father. Okay. Those are the memories I'm talking about.
All right. Lastly, as we get to wrap up, I want us to talk to these people on how to celebrate Father's Day. For the sons, for the daughters that are watching us right now at home, what is the best way to celebrate Father's Day so that, you know, your father feels like he's being celebrated? Tomorrow is Father's Day, but how do I make my father feel like, you know, I have celebrated them?
I think a photo shoot is one of the very nice things that you should celebrate your Father's Day with, if you have the chance. If you don't have a chance to do a full-blown photo shoot, just take pictures with your dad. Okujjako mu generation yeno naye yaffe ffe we twakuliranga oyinza onoonya ekifaananyi kyenjimu nekitange nga tekiriiwo nga tokiraba kyendimu nekitange, as in me and my father in the same picture, tekiriiwo.
Okay.
Tekiriiwo.
Nze mbirinayo, nyinayo.
Ng'olimu naye?
Nga ndimu naye.
So I think a photograph, take a picture with your dad right now. Tomorrow, as you're celebrating Father's Day, of course there's this thing of cook for him, bichi. Naye basajja tuli busy tuyiya, ogenda
baba sindikire ka mobile money. Tuanza kusindikira tata wa mobile money. Nomugamba happy Father's Day.
Ozijewa, oli mubbi.
Tokola.
Okolawa.
Ugamba gwe.
Ogamba nze. Bana bayoga abaana baffe. Nze of course nkola. Hizo kubira mzee wange ne musinga ka mobile money.
Nomugamba happy Father's Day.
Naye ate ka Father's Day kanyuma surprise nze ku mulimu. Jakola. If he's a farmer, you know, surprise him at the farm and do something, take a picture with him and, you know, wish him a happy Father's Day. But a father is a father every single day of their lives. And a mother is a mother every single day of their lives.
All right, thank you very much, Willis Daly, for, of course, keeping me company right here on the show. Now, for those of you that have been part of this amazing show all the way from 6 a.m. up to 8 a.m., I would like to say thank you very much. And for those of you that missed out some bits of the show, you can be sure to catch most of them on our social media pages. And as we do get to wrap up with this beautiful Saturday morning show, the Urban Today Weekend Edition, I would like you guys to head over to our social media pages and share some stories or memories that you do have over your father. As we get to celebrate Father's Day tomorrow, we would like to, you know, listen to these stories and read them. Personally, I have interesting memories to share, and you can definitely get to catch up with them on my social media handles. Facebook, it is Aina Derek, and on Twitter, it is at Aina Dasha. From me, the rest of the team would like to say good morning and do enjoy the rest of Urban TV programming. For more about Urban Television, you can definitely catch us on our website.